Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Happy Musician Vlogcast. I'm Candace, your happy musician, and this is a vlogcast where happy musicians come to talk. So today, my guest is Riley, and he is an amazing cellist. I want to say entrepreneur in a way because he runs the Elegance Quartet, and this quartet has been doing a great job keeping Philadelphia very happy. But it's a very unique quartet. And quite honestly, if you can name it, they'll play it. So thank you, Riley, for being here today. So
Thank
excited.
you, Candice, for inviting me. Yeah,
I also have to say, Riley's a new dad, too. So
that was a purpose. I was yawning because of the hour of sleep that I got. It was a full hour.
a full hour, that's pretty
A
good.
full hour.
It's pretty
All
good.
of it. So
As I said earlier, you have like 18 or 19 more years to, you'll get some more sleep. And it's not that far, you'll
yeah,
make. But even with as little sleep as you're getting, you guys are still rocking and rolling. I mean, you are moving along. So tell us a little bit about what you've been up to. You've been doing these amazing porch concerts. So tell me about how did that all come about?
sure. So it's pretty much redundant at this point to even mention the effects that COVID has had on the entertainment industry and musicians in general. So after everything got canceled, there was a period of about 2 months that we really didn't play anything. Um, and you would think that we'd be practicing, but that's not always the case. That just does not happen in a in a yeah. It's too late to practice now. You
Right?
do that in college. You get out in real life. There's no time for that. So I had the idea of I just wanted to play really, and I organized in my neighborhood. The first concert that we did with the quartet was on our neighborhood, on our house, and um, the whole neighborhood came out. They sat on chairs, and most of them just stayed on their porches. But we had two musicians up in the balcony level,
I saw
and
that.
then
Yeah.
yeah, and then two musicians in the porch level. I would say so. With technology, it's possible. I even like rigged a little mirror in front of us. You couldn't see it obviously on film on camera, but I could see what was going on downstairs, at least for queuing.
Smart.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun, and a lot of people that just was walking by that day stopped to listen. And we put on about 2 hours of music, and that really sort of started off this series of concerts that we've been doing. Because then we did it at another neighborhood, and then another neighborhood, and so on and so forth. And then we've just been playing at some of the parks, like Mifflin Square Park, that's on Wolf and Sixth, Stephen Girard Park, which is close to Gamp.
Yeah.
If all the musicians know that, it's a great school. Um,
Awesome part too.
and yeah, um, and then just word of mouth. Really, of we've been doing almost two concerts a week uh,
Wow.
since then. And we're also partnering with Philadelphia Horticultural Society, I think so.
No, you're
PHS.
right.
Anyway, they're doing they're doing this pop-up beer gardens, and we're sort of their Thursday night live music entertainment at the South Street location. So that's
That's gonna be
you're
so
looking.
awesome.
Yeah, we played there yesterday. It was so much fun. Um,
Beautiful.
and it's like a bar gig, but with a string quartet. And
Right. Because you
uh,
guys aren't just playing classical music. You guys are playing
we are playing. Well, we're playing everything except classical music. Let's put it
except
that way.
classical.
And although my heart and soul is very much influenced by classical music, and I love it, and I use it in pretty much all the arrangements that I write. With the electric string quartet that we use for these shows, it's not really feasible
Yeah.
to play that music, and it wouldn't really do it justice. It would become like almost a mockery of it.
Yeah, on the electric, yeah, because that's what
So
you guys are electric cello and using all.
yeah, and I don't want to do that to that music. You know, it has its place, it has its purpose, but yeah,
Respect the classical music.
yeah, of course, and we use it. I mean, I do not even want to be compared in the same sentence to the great composers, but of course, I take some of their ideas and just mash them up with my arrangements. So
Well, I mean, yeah, well, isn't most of our stuff this
yeah,
whether we know it or not, I mean, most of our stuff is pulled from the great composers. I mean, the themes
yeah,
constantly
yeah,
echo through time. They just keep.
that's right. Yeah, it just keeps coming back and uh, it's there, not going anywhere. So, um,
I love that you got. Just to let everyone know, I got it. I played with well, I played with you once. Very rainy,
oh yes,
but I
you
wouldn't
were
have liked it to do with anyone else.
you were the best, the best. Let me just a plug here for Candace, uh, the harp player, not
It was,
just the happy musician, but the harpist.
yeah,
Uh,
it
Not
was.
only do you play great, but it's just the most easygoing, happiest harpist I've ever played with.
I'm glad that's what I'm going for.
That's yeah,
It was already a crazy day. Like, why would I want to make it worse? It just was like, hey,
yeah. You can't. Some things you can't control. You just
yeah, you can't
go
control.
with it.
It was what it was, but yeah, you guys were so professional too. But I mean, you were on. I watched how hard you worked that day. I didn't see sweat. I was like, this guy's amazing. He's communicating with
Maybe it was the rain. Maybe it was just the rain.
the rain probably covered it up. Yeah. But I mean, you helped me move my harp. You moved your instruments, iPads, equipment, amps, everything. You were just going. And I was like, all right, here we go. We're just gonna keep up with this guy because
Yeah,
he's got a plan. He's making it work. And it did. It ended up working out.
yeah,
And
it did.
it was fun playing. The energy from you and your lovely wife Aisha was just fantastic.
No,
It was a
couldn't
rain.
have asked for a better partner that day. You know. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah,
Couple of questions for you. That's
sure.
why I have you. So this might seem a little redundant because you actually kind of said what you were doing, but there's always more to add. So um these are quick questions. So what are you currently reading? Is it a book, couple books? Anything?
So to that list, I'm a little behind. I used to read like there was no tomorrow, and then uh, somehow life started, and
Well, you're reading
I
a lot
got a baby. uh, yeah. So what I'm currently reading is you know the alphabet
there.
and some other children's books, but I wish I had more time to read. So to that, I'll just add maybe some of my favorite books. I can just talk about those two really quick. um, uh, the first one, I'm not sure if most, I would say, American audiences know about this is Omar Khayyam.
Okay.
He's a Persian poet and mathematician and one of the inventors of the modern calendar.
Oh.
Um, he wrote a collection of little verses, and it's called the Rubaiyat,
I know.
from the grape, the vine. That's the ruby of the vine. So each of them stands on its own, and yet together they make the collection a more like the whole.
Wow.
But it's called the Rubaiyat, and it's probably the number one book that I keep reading and reading time
Nice.
after time. And it's I don't know how to describe it. It's philosophical. It's beautiful. The English translation is great. It's by Edward Fitzgerald, I believe is his name.
Yep. Been very familiar with Edward.
Uh, and yeah, I would highly recommend it. It's just beautiful philosophy on uh, enjoying life, and it really plays. I would definitely recommend it to you, Candice. For the happy musician, it just fills you with joy, just to put life into perspective. No matter what you're going through, this is going to make your life better.
I
Yeah,
believe you. I'm going to read it. I'm going to add it to my list. I have two books that I've got to I say I have to get through, but I
yeah,
should I get to get through. I get to read. So I'm going to add that one because I was looking for a third. So
yeah.
glad you recommended that
Yeah,
one.
it's like little verses of poems, and they're beautifully written. Um, it's a little old English, so you may need to like look up some. Like, especially, I had to look up a lot of words, but
Originally.
it's just beautifully written. And my first language is also Albanian, as you may know.
Yes, I do.
Um, so I've read it several times in both languages.
In both wow, and it still resonates in both languages.
Yes, every time, no matter what.
Well, I won't be
And
reading Albanian, but I'll definitely read the English.
yeah, I read the English.
I'll be calling you a lot and be interrupting your 1 hour sleeps, you know.
Yes, if you read it, we can talk about it anytime. Yeah, have
Yeah,
another have another vlogcast only for that.
you might have triggered a new idea.
Yeah, discuss.
Happy Musician Book Club. We can discuss
Yes.
awesome books. Yeah.
um, and
Always.
then with the second book, right? I had to think about it because then I have
Well, you
too
don't have
many
to have a
favorites.
second book, but if you do, I mean, feel free to share. But
I they're not like all the books that I like are really like novels. So they're not like any of these like self-help books. But
most of
this is it's The Stranger, but Albert Camus, or Camus, if you pronounce it in French.
right. Okay.
And just if people know it, then they know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then if you read it, it's gonna mess with your head. But
I'll read that one after I
after,
read the
yes,
Rubicon.
please.
Or
Uh,
after if it's gonna mess with my head.
yeah,
I'll have a bunch.
it's like any French movies or music. It's all so much is left to your interpretation, and you just come out of it. I don't know how you're gonna come out because it's everybody has a different experience. But
It's different. I've
yeah.
noticed I've been watching a lot of French films on during COVID because like I don't know. I kind of mistakenly watched one and now my Netflix just keeps it,
Gives you, I think
try
it takes
another.
a year. It takes a year with like French stuff to like sip in.
See, but
And then,
yeah,
oh,
I'm
that's what it was.
and I'm still trying to figure out what happened in the first one. I'm like, is he hate her? Does he love her? Or what's gonna
Exactly.
happen? Are they gonna, so
Yeah,
it's French definitely love to leave things open to interpretation.
yeah,
So which is fine, but
totally fine with me.
you definitely walk around with it for a while.
Mhm.
But all right, so you have that one, you have the second one. This is the hardest one, and I purposely asked this because it
Okay.
always triggers a whole nother conversation. But what is your favorite piece to play?
This is the question I thought about the least,
At least
because I know I've been asked that so many times. Of course, every musician has been asked that,
every one of us, yes.
and everybody sometimes has the same answer that depends on the day and time of the week.
Exactly.
And I just I don't have an answer for you. I'm sorry for that. I will say that
Okay, that's an answer. Your answer
yeah,
is there is no answer.
there is it's French.
There you go.
uh,
It's
I,
whatever I'm putting. I
yeah,
forgot the composer who said it, but someone asked him his favorite piece, and he said, "Well, essentially, it was whatever." Someone watching this will correct it or look it up, but someone asked him, and essentially, he was saying, "Well, whatever I'm playing at the time is my favorite piece," you know.
yeah,
So
no, it makes sense. And I will say that I write a lot of the arrangements for the quartet, so that has opened me up to many different genres of music that
yeah,
not necessarily you'd study, quote unquote. You're definitely not going to study them in a music conservatory, but
no,
when you start writing them out, you realize that even a simple like pop melody, the nuances of it are actually very smart. There is, it's not as simple as it may sound. And and that I've gained a lot of respect for that. Classic rock to pop to jazz arrangements. It's a whole. They may seem simple little ditties, but
They're not.
they're not, and that's why some melodies get stuck in your head more than others, because they're just beautifully written.
Well, they know they figured out the science, what makes people,
I get, yeah.
layers of the music that make us want to fall in love with the piece. A lot of musical engineers have figured out that science, that they do it, and it's layers, and it's not as, you're right, it's not as simple as it seems. We say, oh, it's a simple pop tune, but it's been very well engineered.
Oh, of course, yeah, it's engineered, and then every once in a while you run into a piece that sort of breaks away from that formula in a way, and yet it's like a recipe for food. Then it's like, oh wow, this is amazing. So those revelations are they can sort of make your day.
Well, like you said, it's a recipe, and it's like so delicious, and you walk around like, oh man, that was so good, it was so delicious. Rehearing it, and so tasting it as you go through your day. There was a piece I played for a wedding a couple of years ago, and I'd never heard this piece, and they said, oh, could you do an arrangement on the harp for this? So I had to arrange it, and I just could not stop liking this piece. I was
yes.
I was so excited to play that piece at their wedding. I think I was just like, this is so much fun. It was just that the piece came together. I was like, I'm all in. This is great. So I totally understand that. Yeah. And so you have no answer for your favorite piece, which is totally fine. And you being the professional musician that you are, I kind of expected that. So I'm glad that but it's like, I gotta ask everybody. It's part
of course.
It's part of the Vlogcast formula. But now this one might be a little bit more intense. So what two people have been the most influential to you, and why?
Oof, I know.
Right.
Okay.
No wrong answer to this, by the way.
No wrong answer. Okay.
No wrong.
Well, I was going to share this interview with my mom.
It might be a wrong answer.
No, she'll be fine, because she's definitely, of course, one of the main people that has influenced me in my life. I don't mean it just by, giving me life. It's not just that, but just her whole persona, and just the way she teaches, pretty much without really, without saying anything. It's just what you learn from people through observation, and that comes through and influences you later in life. And she's definitely probably the main person, and that's, I'm sure a lot of people have one of their parents as the main influencer, but and I don't know how to put the why. It's difficult, because my mom.
She's your mom. That's the why. Like,
and what I can say for that is that she sort of keeps everything together by default in the family. She never, in a way, like overreacts or neglects anything, or she's
the constant. She's the
I don't know. She is it's like the what do you call it? Everything sort of comes around her. She just holds everything in place.
Yeah, there is a word for that. It'll come to us after.
I was going to use keystone, since we're in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. I mean, okay.
So in a way, she does do that, and the keystone is always at the center of that arc, and keeps everything together like that. But just by watching her and how she always treats people with the the best intentions and the greatest respect. Just that's what I get from her. I don't think she ever really told me how to do things. She just shows me, and I
Shows
just learn by observation. So that's
well, actions are the best teacher.
yeah, true. So and then talking of teachers, my second most influential person, I would say, is my college professor. I went to University of Alabama. Um, to long story how I got there, but
I am
for
wondering, but go ahead.
yes, you would think why Alabama, in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I go to major in cello, and because my uh, a great teacher was there, and I really love him. His name is Carlton McCreary. He has since retired, but we still keep in touch. Um, and I have to put him above sort of all the other teachers that have also greatly influenced me, but I have to put him at the top, just because he really opened my mind to uh, think beyond just the classical music, uh, and and apply the lessons that you learn in cello to real life situations, or to bigger ideas, than just like a sonata,
Right.
um, or uh, whatever orchestral piece we were doing. It's not about playing the piece really at the end of the day. So he had the best analogies that I can ever come up. A lot to do with food. Um,
Good.
those are the best. But yeah, he just opened and inspired my imagination really to think outside of that, of just music.
That's really
Music
important.
is just another tool for your life. It's not the end result, I think. So
A really great teacher. No, it makes a big deal, and I totally understand. He taught you beyond. He taught you the cello, but he taught you to go beyond.
yeah, it's you really have to think in terms of art and not just uh, instrument. Um,
Yeah, it's.
so,
I think that's one of the hardest things for musicians is to, as my dog decides to come in now, is to think beyond their instrument. Like we don't just have to play the instrument and that's it. You know, there's so much more that we can do, and the instrument is just
yeah,
a tool. It's I had one teacher, and I don't remember the teacher's name. I wish I did, because I didn't really study with her that much. She was just a teacher within the school, and I remember she's like, your instrument is a key. I just remember her, and she wasn't talking to me. She was talking to another friend, but she was like, the instrument is a key. She goes, and it can unlock so many doors, and you can go so many places with it and
hmm
meet so many people. So just remember that. Just keep your key ready and always ready to unlock a door. And I just remember going, that is so amazing. Like I was
yeah,
14 or 15, and I just remember that, and I never forgot her saying that. And she wasn't even talking to me. I hope the person that she was talking to got it, but
yeah,
she wasn't even talking to me. So
yeah. But they influence us. Those ideas, it's just like great books. Really, you take them and you sort of grow with them for the rest of your life.
yeah. And as you mature, as your brain changes, you reread it and you find something else. And then you find,
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
the realize, oh wow, this growing up stuff's pretty amazing sometimes, but growing up with instruments even more amazing. But um my last question for you, you know, what what are the things, or what is the thing that you are doing to, keep happiness in your art right now? I mean, you're sharing with everybody, but is there anything else that you're doing when you get a chance to not I guess you know what? I'm gonna let you answer that, because I was gonna say something about being a dad, but I'm not gonna infringe on your answer.
You catch up on sleep or something like that. uh, yeah, that's an interesting, very interesting question, because of course the main thing that makes us happy you would think is, sharing the music with people, and they react to it, the applause and all that sort of connection with the audience, which is great. And it really gives you a boost and to do it again for next time. um, and I would say, of course, that's been happening with the Spark concerts, but at the end of the day, we spend a lot of time, most of the time we spend alone. And especially with the practicing, when you're practicing, or when you're writing, or when you're making a business plan, or whatever you're planning, all the hours you spent until the concerts are generally done alone. Um, so most of the activity happens inside your head, in your head.
Yeah. People don't realize how being a musician, how solitary it can be.
Yes, many years of solitude.
Yeah.
It's another great book, 100 Years of Solitude.
I'm writing.
Gabriel Garcia Marquez. That's another gem. But yeah, the time we spend alone is where I think I try to find that happiness, because it is sort of a gift I have to give myself. And for me, it's I love tinkering with stuff, and I never sort of shy away from that. I will, if it's a piece of music that I'm arranging, if it's a new piece of technology I can incorporate, like I will spend hours to try and do something artistic and creative with it. And that's how this whole electric quartet came to being. I mean, we use so much
equipment.
Yeah, a lot of equipment, and I've learned so much about sound in general that you just cannot learn not even in college. You'll never have like a sound engineering degree. That's a different topic.
It's amazing what we have to do, and we didn't learn all the things that we have to do. We didn't learn in college or conservatory.
And playing around with those that take me outside of my shell, that's where I really find like joy in that. I mean, it just creates more tools to create art with. It's like a color palette. It's like add another color to it and everything changes. So
you make sure that you're giving yourself, you're enjoying, like you said, you're enjoying your alone time, but you're also making sure you're expanding your technical horizon.
Yeah, I make I guess I have to make like efficient use of my lonely time in my head when I'm putting things together. And and then hopefully people at the day of the concert, that 2 hours, they will enjoy it. And that's that's all they see, 2 hours, but they don't know the other 200 behind it.
So. I'm about to say, they don't see the other 200 hours behind it. It's like it's probably seen it all over social media and all over the internet, but you see the big glacier.
Yeah, the icebergs. Yeah. Yep.
Massive.
Yeah.
People like, yeah, this is all the work. This is the show.
Yeah. Of course, it's like that. And I think if you can figure out what to do with the submerged part of the, if you can be happy doing, building the submerged part, then the revealed part of the iceberg will sort of come itself.
It will. And it does. And you're right. You do have to find the enjoyment in the solitary time, because it shines through in the show. You know. At least, and I've noticed that with you when the few times I played with you, and it's just, you're setting it up, you're doing the work, but when it's time to start playing, it all comes out. It's
I hope so.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Smile is there, the energy is there, and it definitely comes through with you. And I can see why you guys are as successful and as amazing as you are, because you not only can tell there's a really good connection between you and the other musicians in the quartet, but it seems as though, I mean, and not you definitely feed off of each other, but you make sure that you're all okay. It seems like you're always everyone is always okay. We're all okay. We're playing. We're doing this. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And I just it shows, and I think that's why people just can't get enough of you guys.
Well, I hope so. Yeah, come. We do these concerts just to keep things. We have to hustle a little bit during these times, but hopefully people come out and enjoy the shows and yeah, make requests.
Yeah, I saw you. That's right, guys. They take requests. So
Yeah,
um,
this is
you guys are Instagram, and all of everyone can follow you. I'll have all of the links up under the Vlogcast where they can follow you. But do follow this quartet. Follow Riley, because they're quite amazing musicians. I've played with a lot of musicians. I played with a lot of ensembles, and definitely you guys are like at my top, my favorite, because
thank you.
you're fun. You're just
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you're just so much fun. But the professionalism, everything that you want to get from music, you guys give it, and
Yeah.
that's important. And so in case you didn't know, I just figured I'd reiterate it, probably for the 300th time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got
I'll just put a shameless plug for
go
a
for
cousin
it.
of mine because um, he helped me build this. I had the idea of we're calling it now a digital jukebox by the name of Juke Tune. So the idea of it is it's pretty simple. You click on a song you want to hear, and I get a notification, and I play your song. But the technology of it was only made possible by and my cousin. His name is Ondi Gusho, and he built the app and the infrastructure of it to allow us to, for example, like at the bar concert with all this COVID stuff. Now we have a QR code that we put wherever people go, scan it. It brings up our entire set list. They click on it from their phone. They don't have to go to a separate iPad, although we do have that too as like a separate station. But people can click from their phone, and I get a notification on my end as to what they're requesting. Now I can choose to play the song or not, because it's all live music. It's not like it will start playing, or there's no backing tracks of any sorts to just start playing.
Right.
But yeah, it's just that technology is made.
So is that just for your quartet, or is that, I mean, because did he
That
do that
is another one of my brainchilds, but as I said, my cousin really built the infrastructure on it because he's the IT guy.
That is awesome. So this is an Elegance Quartet exclusive app?
So far, it is exclusive. Yes.
That is
We
so
do want people to try it and to use it and to tell us how to make it better.
Is there a link that I can put for people to like
Yes, it's
check it out?
Yeah, juketune.com, and I think that's right.
Pretty
It's
simple.
You can you can read more about it, juketune.com.
That's awesome. I'm gonna put it. All right, so the link is gonna be there, because I mean it's pretty awesome. I did get I was watching one of your videos in showing your services, and I did see, I was like, oh, what is that?
I
So
know.
no, that's pretty awesome, because so no other quartet, no other ensemble has this, only you and you're in the Elegance Quartet. So okay.
Yeah, we do want to offer it. It is possible to have it to
For
anybody. Yeah, really. But as with any new technology, like you need like a beta stage, and you need people to test it out.
So you guys are
I use it almost every week, so I know it works for me. You engage with the people, you incentivize them to give you more tips. You hand out more business cards by them, you use it. It's yet another tool. It's not just
Right.
a song request. The song request really is, of course, it's to gauge the interest of the audience.
Right.
But any interactions you have with people, it's a positive thing. So, as an artist or even as just a business person, if you're in the event industry, then it serves to your advantage.
It's pretty
So
awesome. I
yeah.
mean, something that you could even, um, I mean, it sounds like this, the sky's the limit for something like this. I mean, seems like it can be offered even to DJs who are working directly with
Yes.
musicians, and
Yeah.
I mean, it can just be used.
It can. There are some, of course, there's some tech issues that need to be overcome, but that, if people use it, then I will know what they're thinking.
Right.
I know how I use it, and it works great. But I don't know, maybe you would use it a different way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Use it very
and then, so yeah, so far it's been working like pretty much flawlessly. It takes very minimal investment, and
well, musicians like that,
yeah, and as I said, like we used to have it so that you needed an iPad for people to click on, so you have to make the investment of having an iPad with an internet connection there. But now you can just turn all that into QR code.
Awesome.
And then, of course, they just they use that, so that takes a good chunk out of your first initial investment of having an extra setup with an iPad.
Right. That's awesome.
Because people use their phones.
Right. I mean, you just knocked a lot of limitations of the app out with that too. I mean, that's pretty.
Yeah, it's and all you have to do is upload your song catalog and what you're willing for people to just request on the fly.
Right. So if you're not going to play it, don't put it on the list. But
what you're not sure about, don't put it on the list, or just ignore it.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't get to it.
Yes,
but
yes, I've ordered too many of them.
I have too many requests.
Yes.
All right, I'm so happy you told me about this. So I'm gonna put the link to Juke. What is it? Juke Tunes.
Juke Tune. Yeah, like JUKE.
It's gonna be there.
Tune.
And of course, some of your website and everything, so people can see the awesome work that you're doing. You are keeping Philadelphia happy, making sure people are getting their weekly dose of music, which is extremely important. You're feeding the soul out there, so keep doing it.
Thank you.
And I hope I get a chance after all this to play with you guys somewhere along the line. We'll see what happens after this whole pandemic, But I want to thank you again for being my guest and letting me talk.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure. Tell your lovely wife I said hello and congratulations on your new baby.
Yeah, thank you.
New-ish, right? How is she?
She's 13 months.
13 months. New, yeah. It's been a little while. I saw some adorable pictures of her in her first little pool this summer, and beautiful. So
thank you.
But I will let you go and get a little bit of sleep. Maybe you'll catch 10 minutes this time. Who knows? But thank you everyone for watching the Happy Musician Vlogcast, where happy musicians come to talk. And all the information will be on the bottom of the YouTube and also on my website, thehappymusician.com. All the information will be there, plus bios, books, everything we talked about will be on my website. So go to thehappymusician.com, subscribe, and watch the Vlogcast. So thanks again, Riley.
Thank you, Candace.
All right.
Stay happy.
I will. You too.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.